Scammers are bilking thousands of Americans out of millions of dollars by pretending to be someone they're not. For years, they've gotten away with it. But now the government's holding global businesses accountable to aiding and abetting the fraud.
Hello? What are you telling me? You're telling my grandson had an accident?
What he was telling her was a lie, but Grandma fell for the calculated con, preying on her most primal fear, a family member in trouble.
She's a sharp lady, but when it comes to her family, she'll do anything.
Grandma's family didn't find out about the fraud until nearly 2 weeks after the money was wired.
She came to our house, and our son, who was supposedly in the accident, happened to be here on a trip from California. And she went up to him and she said, "Well, how are you? Is everything?" He's looking at her like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And that's how we found out.
Grandma, you were scammed. You were scammed.
Grandma, how did you feel at that moment?
I was beside myself. I'll never get over it.
But Grandma is not the only person to be deceived in this way.
Anita's grandson called to say his wallet was stolen in London. He begged her to send money, but not to tell his mom.
This type of scam is so common, the Federal Trade Commission has a campaign designed to bring awareness to wire transfer fraud.
It's so easy to come up to a Western Union anywhere in the world and without even presenting ID, just say a name and get that money. Unfortunately, that money's gone, which is why we would say the best thing that a consumer could do is try to avoid it.
The FTC joined forces with the Justice Department and the U.S. Postal Service, and as a result of the joint investigation, Western Union has admitted to aiding and abetting wire fraud, and now they're being made to pay out $586 million to victims like Grandma, as well as other folks taken in similar schemes that promise prizes, loans, and jobs in exchange for money up front.
But I'm glad that there's some kind of a fund with Western Union, and hopefully she'll get something back. But the more people that know, maybe they won't be caught the next time.
And Grandma has her own piece of advice.
Talk about it, report it, call the police.
It's good advice for after a crime is committed, but what can you do to avoid getting caught in this type of scheme? Don't fall for what I call the 3 Fs. Fast funds found. Someone wants you to make a fast decision without taking time to consult with a trusted family member. Don't do it. Second, the funds they are seeking don't sound unreasonable under the circumstances. Most of us would come up with $2,000 to $4,000 to help a close relative. And the third F, don't send money to someone who can't be found. Grandma, why are you telling us the story?
I've been so embarrassed. I haven't mentioned this to hardly anyone but my family. And I feel that maybe this will help somebody else.
Grandma did file her claim with the FTC more than 2 years ago and is still waiting to get her money back.